Up next, Amad Diallo.
Keep magic.
Whoa,
Sweet child of mine.
I disagree with you.
What are you shaking your head for?
Because... Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This is Off the Bar, brought to you by Green King Sport. We've got a very special episode today. We're going to be looking at Ruben Amorim at Manchester United, what he will bring, how United will look, and which players he will want to keep or sell, or basically who we think we should keep or sell under Ruben Amorim. Of course, I've got Jay Marty here with me. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm just trying to get the pronunciation right on his name, Amorim. I think I'm getting there because I was saying it wrong for so long. I've sort of it's become a thing. And I'm struggling sometimes and annoying
emphasise a different part of him. I'm going to start calling him Amorim.
Oh, I like that.
That's what I was doing.
What about Amorim?
That's nice.
Yeah.
Amorim.
Oh, Amorim.
Well, I was calling him Amorim.
Yeah.
And now no one cared. And
When
now
the
he's our
moon hits
manager.
your eye like a big pizza pie.
That's Amorim.
What about Amorim?
That's pretty good. That sounds nice, actually. Ste Howson here as well, of course. First time we've spoke about Amorim together on this channel.
Amorim.
Just first of all,
Ruben, I call him.
What do you make of him as a manager?
Paddock.
Yeah.
And him being the next Manchester United manager? Are you impressed by him? Do you like him?
He was. I think the last time we was off the bar, I actually said he was because it was just post Tuchel.
Yeah.
Going England. I think I mentioned that it's probably just him, really, isn't it, in terms of the options. So there wasn't a ton of options. And I wonder how much of the result against West Ham, which of all of the results we've ballsed up this season, was the least on Erik ten Hag.
Yeah.
Was the one that
you
made
said that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Drag him out the back like O'Yella. So I wonder, was there an external force, a rumour, somebody else in the mix for Amorim, and then was that what enacted us, or was he? I'm seeing Ronaldo loves a conspiracy, doesn't he? He's like, I think we've been on him since summer.
Ronaldo Brown does.
Yeah, look at the transfers we've made.
Yeah. And I don't know if that might be accurate. That might not be. They didn't extend Ten Hag. Well, at all, really. They just contractually just kept hold of him. It was very much on probation season.
They clicked the button on the spreadsheet, didn't they, rather than writing out a new contract?
Yeah.
So, I think he's decent. By all accounts, a bit more charismatic than Ten Hag. I think that's the one valid thing that you could say about him, is a little bit dry. He's not going to make our forwards start scoring goals, though. I know we're sitting here after Rude, literally we scored 5, but we scored a few against Barnsley. It's the League Cup. It's a B team. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? We probably would have done the same job last night. I think we actually played better against West Ham, really, than we did against Leicester last night. So I still don't think there's enough goals in that forward line. Yes, he might bring a different formation, which may allow other things, but I still think the team's massively deficient.
Can I just ask you quickly? Are you as excited, if that's the right word, or positive about disappointment as you was about Ten Hag? Because when we looked at Ten Hag, I think we looked at him as pretty much an obvious choice.
Truthfully, probably not, actually. But I think that because he's Ineos's, and I think I trust them so much more than the Glazers in terms of making football decisions. Because he's theirs, I think that he's got more chance of time.
Yeah.
And I think that he'll probably be working with them to create something that he wants to see. Ten Hag's tenure was like 4 or 5 months of Ineos management, and the rest of it was Glazers and the Footwit show. So I still think that, because people will still be like, oh, you got 600 million. Yeah, but like 80, that was an Anthony. Yeah. I was just set fire to it. Like, you're looking at the players that we brought in, not a lot of thought to them, not a lot of, real quality identified. Whereas I think if you look at, maybe Xerxes aside, De Ligt has been superb. I think Mazraoui is superb. I think we did some good business this summer. Not so much with Xerxes.
We're going to get into the players.
We'll go through all of that.
And who's going to go, who's going to stay, and you can give us your opinion on him. So we'll get into the Xerxes one in a bit. I don't want to labour the point. Sorry, bro.
No, I just want to ask, his tactics, obviously, there's sort of endless nuance to it as much as you want to dig into it. But just sort of broad brush stuff, 3-4-3 or 5 at the back, 3 at the back, whatever you want to call it, isn't really a formation that, other than maybe 2 or 3 games under Solskjaer, it's never been a United manager's first choice formation in the modern era, certainly. I don't know about ever. Is that something that you think will get a little bit of pushback from fans? Is it something that can work in the Premier League? Does it bother you? Does it excite you? What his tactical vision, the way he plays football, or his teams play football, is that something that excites you?
Conte won with the back three.
I was going to say Conte. Yeah.
But he's alone in that. I think he's the only.
And he switched, didn't he? Halfway. They started off balling the season won the league. Do you remember? And he switched about 5 games in.
Yeah.
And then they didn't lose, I think, in the league after that.
I don't think formations matter as like Stoke and Barcelona at the same time played a 4-3-3. It was not the same.
Yeah.
So like, there's so many different ways to shape up, 3 midfielders, 3 attack, whatever it is. So it's not about that. And because modern football is such a transitional chess game where you're just trying to overload in this area and not be overloaded in that area, I don't think it matters. Yes, there's a chance he comes and wants to play 3-4-3. But he was also, I covered this on a video the other day, he was extremely adaptable when he did have an injury crisis, which is a little bit of a contrast to Ten Hag when he had an injury crisis. Ten Hag was like, I'm not teaching him another way to play. We're trying to stick to plan A. I've still got to teach him that. Well, Amorim went, all right, I can't play a back three. I'm going to go 4-2-3-1. And I think he won like all bar one of his games. Or so. It was ridiculously high win percentage when he did that. So I think he may come in and go, this squad can't play 3-4-3. You haven't got the wing backs, really. You got Delo, who probably would be a decent wing back.
You can do that.
And so like, unless he decides Harry Hamas can be a wing back, or Anthony, probably not. I don't think we've got the squad to play what he's looking at immediately, at least. So when you see his team still transition into a 3-2-5.
I mean, you mentioned before about Conte. One thing he did is made Victor Moses a wing back. Is there, I don't know if Anthony's got the same kind of mentality or work rate or whatever in terms of like being willing to do that. But is there a chance that you see something a bit unusual there, either a Mason Mount or an Anthony or someone who wasn't a wing back now is a wing? Maybe he will do that.
Tom Heaton.
Yeah, Tom Heaton straight out on that left hand side.
Why not? Your mate.
Sorry to just keep asking Steve questions, but we've
You're so rude.
We've literally
There's
not
a word for that, Joe.
Coming in.
Do you know what I mean?
Big camping Joe is lovely.
Was it nice?
I'll know my place.
I was in the Lake District last weekend, actually. It is nice, isn't it?
Lake District, friends.
You've been before.
What?
Have you been before?
You asked me this the other day, so you stitched me up here. I didn't know the answer.
It's either yes or no.
I know it is, but I didn't know. Well, there is a third choice, as Bill Clinton used to tell us. I don't know. No. I don't know. I probably...
Getting a blowjob under the table.
So this is what happens when you involve me in a conversation. Stick to Steve, you're right.
I did not have sexual relations with that lady.
Very good. Very good. That is a good Bill Clinton.
The thing is, though,
you don't expect it with him. You don't expect his impressions. I remember when he first started doing it, I remember thinking, right, he's actually decent at that.
It's not bad, is it?
Yeah, it is.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's impressive.
I just want to jump straight into this keep or sell then, because you mentioned about not having the fullbacks. Let's go through the United squad as it stands and decide whether you think, or we think, these players should be kept or sold in order to work under Ruben Amorim. That's the game.
We're not bothering with the old things.
We're just going to go through and we're going to decide and we're going to put them in the lineup. So we can show it here. We've got all the sort of the main squad. I've not involved some of the youngsters and the kids. Who I think
we were going to do that, weren't we? We were going to have a loan section. We thought, well, no, let's not bother with that. Let's not bother debating.
Why didn't he play Hamas or Fletcher last night?
They were warming up for ages, They were more. I was thinking.
He brings Johnny Evans on
time as well.
He brought Collier on, didn't he?
I thought he might.
Wheatley, sorry, not Collier.
And I thought he might just get a little. And also, it's a proper. You were saying it, caretaker manager's job, isn't it?
Yep.
Like I'm gonna give him his debut. I'm gonna start a couple of kids.
Right, yeah.
And then when we had like a 3-goal cushion, you think this is ideal.
Who was on the bench with him? Was Fletcher on the bench?
Yeah, Fletcher was on the bench.
Fitzgerald was on the bench.
See, my eyes are not that good.
No, I'm the same, and they were warming up right in front of me. People were asking me, and I'm going.
Not Fergie.
I don't know.
You mentioned about wing backs. Let's just start with Luke Shaw. Because
sell Joe.
Well, is it though?
Yeah, it fucking is.
Is it though?
Fucking sick of him.
Ghetto. Is it though? Hey, raw. Is it though?
Yeah, fucking is.
My record was selling Luke Shaw. Is it though?
Last played for us about 4 fucking managers ago.
What's going on? Have you turned into?
I didn't say it like that. I said
not played since Ralph Ragnick was in the dugout.
Is it though?
I didn't mean to say it like that. I meant, is it really a sell?
Yeah, it really is a sell.
Do you have any upgrade or difference to that?
Do you know what I'm sick of, right? People clip this up in like 6 months when he has 2 good games and go, look at Jay and Joe and Steve in the mud when you said you should have got rid of him. We've been here before. People did this when me and him did this with Dave Pritt 5 years ago when we said the jury was out. You know what? It's still fucking out.
I think it's out.
Yeah.
You think the jury's in?
I think the jury's in. I think it says fucking sell.
All right, then. Yeah, no, I just think... The thing is, as Ronaldo Brown, not to quote him again, says, the best ability is availability.
Yep.
I know he's not the first one to say that, but I like to quote him. And he's right. Luke Shaw, regardless of how minty he might be when he plays, he never fucking plays.
Joe,
so
if he
what's the
hadn't
point?
have bothered getting fit to go to England and had just been injured, I would maybe feel different about it, but I don't, and he did, so fuck him. He can go.
It's ridiculous to hope and wait for him to get a run of games. Yeah, I mean, and unfortunately, he's got to go, I'm afraid.
Okay, let's go with sell and put Luke Shaw in there as the first one. Let's stick with this sort of left-back compatriot, Tyrone Malacia, who genuinely, I don't know whether he'll ever get fit again, because he's been out for pushing 18 months now with numerous injuries, basically the same one multiple times, failed surgeries. It's a knee as well, which is one of the most sort of delicate and difficult parts of a body to get right if it's gone wrong.
Not penis enlargement.
It's not that, although, you know, he's had time off, he could have done what he wanted, to be fair.
Pretty delicate surgery.
That's true.
You've got to be careful with them stitches, trust me.
Do we think Tyrone Malacia's got a future?
Nope.
Under? You don't?
No.
I like him to prove me wrong, but I think we're weeks, if not months, away from Harry Hamas being preferred to him. I know he's not, played yet. He's just been warming up, but it doesn't feel like it's that far away from that happening.
It's his third season as well now, Malacia. He's not just got here.
Malacia, I said it in the summer. I'm not alone. We all said it. It was insane that United didn't buy a left back.
I'd rather play Michael Clegg right now.
That we thought we could get away with just not having one of the 11 positions.
At least he'd be fit.
So
there we go.
Again, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it. I think his career's on the line, and he might have to go at a lower level than Manchester United to get going again.
So United need at least two new left backs then?
No, Harry Hamas could be the backup.
I agree
at least one.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Onana.
Sandro Martin hasn't done a bad job as a backup either. Yeah. So you just get one good one, and then you can fill in. Mazraoui can fill in, Delo can fill in, Martinez can fill in. It's not drastic.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't had them two for 2 years. So
that's true.
I agree. Yeah. The only thing Martinez can do a job there. I just prefer him down the middle. So we need
especially because we're going to have to have
as a backup.
No, backup. I'm not arguing about
Stuff's
that.
Gone tits
it's that like. But the thing is now we're at backup stage, aren't we?
Yeah.
Because we've got two left backs who've never played. So like Steve said, get someone in, and then you're not having to play Martinez. It's an option for you if you've got injuries, rather than him being basically first choice left back.
Robinson from Fulham.
Yeah, he's decent in a minute, that kid.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Let's go back then to Andre Onana, obviously, current first choice keeper. I personally think he works, and I think he's a good ball-playing goalkeeper who, when he isn't tested 8, 9, 10 times a game, or 15 times a game, he's a decent shot stopper as well.
Try 24, Joe.
I think he's good. Yeah. I like him, and I think he's improving. I think he's kicked on a bit this season, which we needed to see. I know it's only early doors, but I'd keep him.
I'd keep him as well.
Non-issue, he's fine.
Yeah, completely agree. So pop him in the keep column. We'll stick with the keepers. Altai Bendia, again, he brushes that non-issue category for me.
No, get rid of him.
He's a number two, isn't he?
Yeah. Why? Because we've got an up-and-coming youngster that's getting no game time because of him at the moment. Free Tom Eaton, fuck Bendia off. It's a joke.
Any upgrade on the youngster Tom Eaton?
Got to look after our own Joe.
Tom Eaton isn't even on this list, by the way.
Exactly.
Don't need to be.
Apologies.
It's a pointless debate. He's not just keep him. Give him
blocking youngsters is what he's doing.
Yeah. What do you think?
Whilst I understand Steve's sticking up for his Bezza, I'd say keep Alta Binder.
I'd say keep.
Tom Eaton's going to be manager soon anyway, so it's fine.
That's a good point. We'll keep him then. 2v1.
Once again, Off the Bar is sponsored by Green King Sport, where football is more than a game.
There's loads of big fixtures this weekend, including Newcastle hosting Arsenal on Saturday, and of course Manchester United under Ruud van Nistelrooy playing against Chelsea on Sunday. So get your mates and get down to your local Green King Sport pub.
And if you use the Green King Sport app, you'll be able to find your nearest pub and get 10% off your drinks for the entire duration of the game. And if you've not signed up before, you'll even get a free pint on the house.
And we've linked to the app in the description, of course, so go down there, click on it, and download the Green King Sport app. Thank you once again to Green King for sponsoring the show. Lisandro Martinez, obviously now centre-back's becoming even more crucial. I think in the sort of world game, they're becoming more and more important season by season. City play 4 of them half the time. Arsenal play 4 of them half the time. They start your build-up play. They have to defend as well. They're a crucial part of the system. Can Martinez do it in a 3 at the back, do you think?
Other than Johnny Evans, he's probably Ten Hag's best signing, so I don't think there's any reason to get rid of him.
Steve?
Not only would I keep him, I'd make him captain.
Really? I think he could be our best player under Amorim, personally.
Yeah.
I love his attitude. Yeah. I love his fight. I love the fact that he could boot off in a car park.
I love that. He's had it with a few, hasn't he? Was it Carl Walker he had it with at Wembley, and then it was Virgil van Dijk the other week?
Even like when he was...
You need a bit of that.
During his gripping Garnacho about over-celebrating and stuff like that. Like, no, you need that. A bit of standards. Roy Keane would love him.
Yeah.
And that's a great standard for anything.
I agree. Right, keep, of course, easy decision. Lenny Yoro, I mean, we don't need to discuss it, do we? It's a keep,
He's not even played under Eric Ten Hag.
I know. He never played under the man who signed him. That's rough stuff, innit? He's not even been injured that long. It's only been a couple of months.
He had that. He had was it Rangers or whatever it was?
Yeah.
12 minutes against Arsenal.
That's all he had.
I think, for me, again, it's an emphatic
it is insane, isn't
keep
it?
and
he spent
really
longer time in the in and out queue than he has on the pitch.
That's mad, that, isn't it? Hey, what should be absolutely amazing, and Eric Ten Hag will be like,
he would have said,
if only. Yeah, obviously you're not going to get rid of him, are you?
No.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, me too. Right, let's chuck him in keep, of course. Victor Lindelof.
Sell.
Just fucking sell him.
Sell.
I thought he was great last night, though.
Fucking shut up.
But
I sound like everyone stood around me. Get a grip.
No,
he did well
sound like all the crowd.
Yeah, Leicester Resi's mint. Like, I don't want to hate on Victor Lindelof because he's not a bad person. He's still here, isn't he? And he's not good enough.
No, he's not.
I'm sorry.
He's not quite there.
He's just not. And it's all right playing against Leicester Resis, but you put him up against Jamie Vardy or someone, well, better than that, but do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Against the top strikers, I think he'll struggle. And also, it's not his fault, but he's been played at left back, he's not left back, played at right back. You know, he is a centre back mainly. I just don't think he's at the levels you need.
No.
But if you're going to play three at the back, then the chances are, if one or two of them get injured, you're going to be turning to your fifth and sixth choice centre back.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah, is Victor Lindelof. And I think we've got youngsters coming through. You can even, still rely on Johnny Evans, just not for me. That's all.
I agree. Lindelof will go with sell, as you can see there. Up next, Harry Maguire.
Sell.
Okay. No, I disagree.
I disagree.
Stephen for the first time today.
I think in a back three, him as that sort of central point that isn't the one on the ball all the time. He can be a bit more defensive-minded player, a bit more physical. You've got Martinez one side, the Delicto Euro the other side.
Can we have Steve Single? The reaction is
I think he could do a job there. And also, you've got to replace him with someone better. And if we're already getting rid of Lindelof, you've got to replace him with two people better than him. I think that's easier said than done, personally.
If Harry Maguire is a backup, I'm all right with that, and I've been all right for a little while.
I think his contract status is still an issue.
In terms of what?
He's on a fucking fortune. Yeah.
Right.
But even if he was given a lesser, mind you, extending him would seem insane.
I wouldn't say extending.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying if he was given a lesser deal, but then I realise that means extending his deal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you're not just going to go rewrite your contract that you've signed. That's
no,
not.
And I think it would. If I'm getting rid of Shaw, Malacia, Lindelof, and Maguire, yeah, we're absolutely short. He'd probably be the last out the door, but he's going out the door.
I'd keep him.
I think that
in a
he's a better fourth or fifth choice centre back than most clubs have got.
Yeah, and in a three, he's all right.
Yeah,
and I think
he costs us 80 million. He's on $250,000 a week.
I know, and that needs
fourth choice centre.
That needs addressing.
Fifth choice because you forgot Johnny Evans.
Yeah, that needs addressing, obviously. But I think as it stands,
insane, but
I would keep him for the season. Yeah, we're going to go keep. Sorry, Steve, we've outvoted you there. Pop him in the keep column. Johnny Evans. This is a weird one.
Keep. It's not weird. It's easy.
Is it? What,
why?
Another one after this season? Another deal?
Well, what's he done wrong?
Joe.
But it's not about what's
Have you been
wrong.
watching him?
Yeah, I know.
He might
He could play till he's 95.
Yeah. Not an ounce of fat on him. He looks after himself. He's cut down on his drinking and that.
Joe,
you
tell me.
Looks after himself.
Outside of that Wrexham game on pre-season, when he's had a bad game.
He didn't do that well for Arsenal's goals in the 3-1 loss at the Emirates last season.
So one game in 2 years.
That's harsh.
That's a keep, isn't it?
Harsh.
Yeah, it's probably a keep, that one. Let's pop him in the old keep column. There we go. Knock him in there.
He was in the fucking top 10 for the Ballon d'Or, you dickhead.
He wasn't. Matthias de Ligt.
Wasn't mine.
Sell, obviously, has been shite.
Yeah, I think he's mainstay.
Yeah,
let's have a few years here.
All I can see every time he fucking mullers someone, which is half a dozen times a game, is Graham Souness going a bit lightweight.
Yeah.
Bit like, I know what, such a stupid thing to say. In a plethora of stupid things he's spat out.
Lightweight. He's absolutely careening into people. Fucking lightweight.
He's a big, heavy, hard kind of bloke. He's not. He's literally, of anything you can say about him, lightweight isn't one of the things you can say about him.
He watched him at 17 on that Champions League run like everybody else, and went, there we go, got my opinion on him, and I will not be changing it.
Yeah, I think he's a definite keeper, and I think he's probably perfect for this system.
I love him.
Yeah, I do.
Him and Mazraoui, I'm
other than the Porto game where I think him and Martinez both struggled, I think he's been pretty excellent.
That was a bit of one.
Got to stop the crossover.
He's still, he's still sort of new to this team and everything, but he's solid. He's a leader and he's very good looking. Keep him.
Right, there you go. For all those reasons,
yep.
He's in the keep column. Diogo Dalot. He's a controversial figure.
Divisive one, isn't he?
He's very divisive. I think he's played like 200 odd games for us.
We're not getting rid of 3 fullbacks. We're not.
No.
Even if you don't rate Dalot, and I quite like
if you're going to play a wing-back system, he's good at that. He does have a delivery.
We saw he gets it for Garnacho's goal.
He plays proper, like he gives a shit, which is something that not every player has got. He's not horrendous, but he is improvable.
Yeah.
I agree. If he's a squad player, we're happy
perfectly.
days.
Yeah. And I think to start with, he's going to be starting it right back under.
His form this season has worried me a lot. Because he's almost fallen off a cliff levels.
Well, he does, but I don't think it is that. I think it's
I don't know why.
He does 10 good things and 1 horrendous thing.
I think he's being asked to be the 5th man in attack, which means that him getting his arse back is hard work.
Yeah. Me too.
I just need to get, do you know what? Certain things out of me, like the Spurs thing of going, oh, sorry I didn't run with him.
See, stuff like that's just horrendous. I mean? But he does so many good things.
I get your point. Yeah. Just like you said, the horrendous things stay with you. You're like, what on earth were you doing? Yeah. But he's not that bad.
Do you know some players like Scott McTominay? I never thought he was hugely mistake prone as a player. He just didn't do enough. He just didn't get involved. He wasn't a big part of the game. Dallow's a big part of every game he plays, but he will make an absolute clanger pretty much every game. So if he can somehow iron that out, I think we've got a good player there.
He suffers for a bit from that, doesn't he? He's got one of them faces sometimes when he makes a mistake, just looks a bit like, oh God. You know, like Phil Neville used to have it.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of, done it again.
What have I done?
Yeah, that's not his fault.
Nusayr Mazraoui.
It's keeper we're fighting.
Yeah, it's just
that
easy.
We don't would be a sackable offence.
Fantastic. Let's just put him in that column.
He's so good at football, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very good.
Mate, from the Fulham debut, you made me forget about Adam Wan. What's his name? I was like, who? What? Oh my God, he's mint. Yeah. So keep him.
He's really good.
And
if he can stay
good
fit,
in defence.
Yeah.
How's he having a heart procedure and then not missing a fucking game, by the way? How's that work? How's that work?
I don't know. I don't really want to know either.
You're not watching this here now, right? I know you've got someone who works in accounts at your gaff that had 6 months off for a fucking heart procedure, didn't miss a game.
Yeah.
Came on with his drip still attached.
Yeah.
And
his arse hanging out in that fucking onesie that they put him in.
He came running onto the pitch. I'm having it.
Hero.
Hey.
Unbelievable.
Fuck Terry Butcher. Fraud.
Moving on, Casemiro.
Oh, this is a good question. There's a certain, recency bias now with him, innit? Because he's
had 2 really good games.
He has had some really good games and scored an absolute worldie against Leicester.
Yeah.
I think if we're going to be brutally honest, he goes in the summer.
Yeah.
For me.
I can play that game. I'd get rid of him in the summer and bring in a younger version. You've either got Mainu who takes that role, or you go out into the market and you get somebody else in that role. But let him leave playing like he's playing now, rather than us headbutting walls like we were nearly doing about 4 months ago.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. I think you keep him past the summer and then you could be like...
You get another good season out of him, I think, where you go, do you know what? He were all right.
Yeah, I agree. I would keep him. And also, have someone there through the transition who's actually won something. Because the team is... there's a lot of talented players
Portuguese.
But he's won more than anyone else in that squad, and he speaks Portuguese. That might be helpful.
Oh yeah,
Amorim.
There we go.
That's good.
So what does he come under then?
I'm going to put him down as sell.
Sell, because we're going to sell him, aren't we?
Yeah, we're talking long term. Will he be here? Yeah. We're going to say sell, but play this season, have a good season, and we'll see it. We'll see you next. We'll see you next time. Manuel Ugarte.
Yeah, get rid of him.
His performances are getting better every time he plays.
He's really good. Last night against Leicester was fantastic.
Does he be a fan favourite because he boots people?
Yeah.
People get behind that.
I think he's a bit of a... Let me finish this before...
You're going to say Andre Herrera, aren't you?
No, Fred, but with a bit more brains when he's on the ball.
Oh, you mean some brains?
Yeah, because Fred was great work, great effort, great sort of ratting in and about, but he would do these sort of clueless things when he gets possession.
I think he's a lot better than Fred.
Yeah, the only thing I would push back on
he plays it safe, but he's not.
Fred would do this thing where he'd tackle no one. Like, you remember against Wolves where there'd be no one around him and he's diving to the floor and you think, who's he trying to tackle?
Yeah,
what's going through his brain at this point? And I quite like Fred, but I think his positional sense was non-existent. I think you said it was reminiscent of a positional sense of a cat, I think you said at one point. Whereas a guy is positioned and he's quite good.
Yeah.
Tends to sort of, it's from what we've seen, knows what he's doing. So, yeah, I think I get the energy point when similar to Fred, but I think he's much better. So, yeah, keep him.
And I wonder if him having a previous experience with Amorim is going to help him.
He might have hated him. We assume that they
you
got
never
on
know.
well.
Yeah, you never know.
That'd be funny, that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
He absolutely despises
He's like,
each other.
Notorious
Buddha!
enemies.
I've been to 2 different clubs since I left him, and he's back.
He's in the keep column. Christian Eriksen. He plays. He plays well.
Him like Johnny of Evans have been 2 of our best signings, and they cost us cock all, the pair of them.
Yeah.
Can't keep him, though, can you? Can we keep him?
Amorim likes 2 10s, though, doesn't he? Could he not play him one of them?
He could do, but then you forcing Rashford and Garnacho and Ahmad to never play again.
Well, life's tough at United.
That's true. if we're playing Christian Eriksen over Garnacho and Rashford, I think there will be riots in the streets.
I don't know, you know.
Maybe not Rashford, certainly Garnacho.
I think probably you need to.
We're also as
he's
well.
in a good spell, but last season he looked a bit off it, and also what is he 32?
If we're doing Player of the Year this afternoon, he wins it.
Yeah, that's a shout.
I'd still sell him though.
Yeah, I think in the summer.
Again, end of the season. Thank you very much.
Thanks, done well. Ta-da.
Yeah, I think it is a sell, and he weirdly has been an excellent signing.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think he would
I don't
be.
think
but
you've said that since Robin van Persie.
He has been an excellent signing for free as well, and he's not on that much money.
He's not on silly money.
I know he's on a good chunk, but yeah, he's not on 300 grand a week. Speaking of Mason Mount,
so
you joking? Really? What are you saying? Go on.
I don't know if I've seen enough of him to make a bloody opinion.
I know. I don't know what to say about him.
I feel like
this is a bit of a discussion.
It's not his fault, right? It's not his fault. But if I'm going to be consistent and say the best ability is availability, the kid's just been injured constantly, and it's like we just hoping he's going to sort it out and get better. It's been a pretty.
What's he out with at the minute? That head injury?
I don't know. It can't be unless he had like
2-week concussion protocol and another 2-week for Mason Mount protocol.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Unless he's had a severe concussion, how is he not back yet?
Unless he turns it around under Amorim, I just wonder whether this move has just been the wrong one for him.
Amorim.
Right. This move has just been the wrong one for him.
But why is it just? Why is just because of the look? Why is this move wrong for him? If
Because
it's just injuries, how's the move?
There's injuries. There's also when he's played, he hasn't really done a lot.
No, true.
Going to be, brutally honest. There's also the fact that he probably his best position is already occupied by arguably our best player in Bruno Fernandes. Giving him the number 7 shirt was just a massive mistake. Spending big dough on him when we could have waited was a massive mistake, especially when people are looking at it going, well, you look at that, and then Chelsea went and bought Cole Palmer, and why didn't we just not buy him? Why didn't we just wait for the summer? What's he done in that first year? Nothing.
Yeah, Cole Palmer's done fuck all, honestly.
Yeah,
but also, in fairness, you can't exactly. We don't know where that 60 million.
No, I'm not saying
that they spent another 1.15 billion on bollocks. That's other than Cole Palmer.
That's just an argument that's been made. Just the whole PR optics of it all. I quite like Mason Mount. I think he's a good player. I just think this move so far has been disastrous. And I think
Lampard.
if it carries on, if the next 6 months carries on like the last 40 months have been or whatever it is, then he's got to go. If he turns it around, then keep him. But from what I'm judging so far, I just think it's not worked out. And it saddens me because it's not his fault particularly, but it hasn't worked out.
You convinced me, Jay. Fuck him off. Otherwise, you end up with a Tony Marshall situation where you're like, well, you don't want to keep him around. Fuck him, go.
All these players are good at football.
This is what we need from Ineos. They've just fucking binned off 250 staff and Sir Alex Ferguson. Let's see you be that ruthless with this fucking squad.
And I know I say it to about every player. I hope it proves me wrong. I hope he turns it around, but we've not got any evidence to support that at the minute.
No.
What are you saying?
I would keep him because I want to see him. I'd like him to play 3 games in a row for us.
He should have done that by now, though, shouldn't he?
No, I know he should have.
Life's a shit house.
So then, are you assuming that he's just going to be this injury prone for the rest of his career?
Maybe not his career, but if I was to judge the next 6 months
deal
of what we've seen the past 14, 16 months, whatever it is, then there's nothing that I've seen so far to convince me that he's going to be available and play as well. He might be fit and still not play.
See, he's someone who I do think could work as one of the sort of winger 10s because that's what he did do at Chelsea. He was a sort of outside kind of
your argument
winger
then
/
that you
10 combo
about dropping Rashford or Garnacho not applying to him then if he played him.
I think it would less so because Eriksen's never played in that position really.
Right, okay.
He's never been like a touchline kind of 10. I know that's not really a thing, but Mount would play like as a left winger who comes inside a lot. Eriksen has always either been a 10 when he was younger, and then as an 8 now he's a bit older. I think Mount has actually done the role that we're thinking Amorim will want. But I get your point. What evidence do we have that he's going to work out?
Yeah, we would have seen a little bit of the play we saw at Chelsea, because I like him. I'd keep him, but you were the one that convinced me we should get him when we did a debate on your channel, and then I went along with you, and then look where it got me.
You've lost your house, you've lost your car, everything based on that opinion. So are we going to sell then? It's tough, isn't it? He's not even played. I know that,
and that's why.
Thing, but
that's literally why.
I can't sit here going, well, Luke Shaw and Milassi aren't available, but let's keep Mason Mount.
No, same,
but we've got 9 years of
flawed
evidence of Luke Shaw not being able to play 50 games.
And maybe we should have nipped that in the bud 18 months in.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, okay.
Same with Tony Marshall. Fucker did a decade here.
That's true. Kobbie Mainoo.
I'm disgusted.
Next
that
question.
You even said that.
Just on him, because obviously we'll put him in the keep in a minute.
Be very careful, Joseph.
No.
Don't say anything remotely negative.
He was one of Ten Hag's main men. Last season, arguably our best player from his debut onwards. I'd probably say he was. Since George Best.
Facts.
Do you have any concerns over Amorim's ability to keep him in the squad, or how much you like him, or that you might not take a shine to him the way Ten Hag did? Does that concern you at all? You think he'll just
cream rises to the top. You watch him play,
I
know
think
his class.
Amorim will be like, oh my God, how lucky am I?
So what we're saying,
to work with Kobbie Mainoo.
Mainoo next to a Ugarte kind of system.
Maybe Mainoo next to
we'll figure it out.
George Best, Dennis Law, and Bobby Charlton on that statue. That's what I'm saying.
I'm already building the plinth.
Thank you.
But you're not worried that he won't suit Amorim's system or anything like that?
He's too
Why
good.
would you be?
I'm not. I just
it's a good question. But he can play in any system.
No, don't
in any
pander
position.
him. It was a shit question.
All right,
It wasn't a shit question because
if you're asking
there are many times where new managers come in and don't like players who have been successful under previous managers. That happens regularly.
Obviously, technically gifted teenagers.
Amorim wants me to start an Amorim out campaign, I will do that if he drops Kobbie Mainoo.
You'll absolutely hammer him if he drops him.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nice.
Bruno Fernandes. He's been someone that...
Why are you saying it like that?
Because until about 10 days ago, loads of people were saying he should be dropped, including yourself at times said that he should be
rested.
He should be.
It's different.
It was dropped.
And also,
it was
absolutely dropped.
And also, dropped or rested is different from selling it.
Well, of course, but one thing can lead to another. If again, a new system comes in, he's 30 years
and
old now.
Like we know, there will be a new system.
Yeah.
Probably. It's not going to be the same 4-2-3-1, so there will be a new system. So we'll either find out whether he can play in the new system or we won't, and he'll get fucked off.
What do you expect, though?
I don't know. I'm totally open-minded.
Right.
Just waiting to see.
He's looked off the pace, and I've said that, you're right. I still think he's a little bit goosed, but I would never sell him. No.
I agree. I think
there's no value in selling him at all
just
as well.
At this
you won't get the money that he's worth.
He's by far the best creative player we've got. No one gets the ball into good areas as often as he does.
But we're shitting goals, so who cares?
And also,
you don't need to get a ball in a good area when Casemiro's smacking him from 25 yards.
Him and Ruben can chat about sporting and that.
Ruben?
Yeah, I'm just going to say
first name terms.
Yeah, he's my mate, my bezzy, Ruben.
And one of your favourite sandwiches.
Yeah. They'll be able to chat about sporting.
Amorim.
Yeah.
Amorim.
They'll be like, hey, do you remember when we was at sporting and that? I missed you, didn't I? You almost together, and I'm like, yeah. So they'll bond over that.
That's really nice. And then I'll say something like, is it though, or whatever I said before. What was it? I don't know what happened.
Is it though? What was it? I can't remember.
Well, he said about Luke, should Luke Shaw be selling? I said, is it though?
Is it though?
Bruno Fernandes, keep. Up next, Amad Diallo.
Keep. Fucking magic.
Keep. Whoa, no, sweet child of mine.
I disagree with you.
What are you shaking your head for?
Because, let's look at the actual facts here. He's been here longer than Mason Mount and done about the same. I don't know, like...
Because Ten Hag didn't play him.
No, I know,
He's not been injured, has he?
Yes, but that's even worse.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. If you're training every single week and the manager doesn't think you're good enough, that is a bigger indictment than someone who can't physically play because they're injured.
We see him playing and having like 95% of the ball, keeping it, because he's passing top.
He's not done the same.
He's done
more than Mason Mount.
Yeah, he's done a little bit more than him.
Like, that goal was seminal. It might only be one goal, but it was...
Yeah.
I mean, that overhead kick that he didn't score last night is more than Mason Mount's done.
If he don't score that goal, there's a chance that Klopp has a mint farewell tour and we don't win the FA Cup.
Of course, but you can't...
And we don't beat City in the final, so...
Kiko Macheda
that still compares far better to Mason Mount's goal against Brentford.
I was being slightly facetious when I was talking about Mason Mount, but Macheda isn't still at the club because of the goal against Villa. you have to look at more than just that. And he's been here for 4 years.
You watched
and he's started about 9 games.
Look at Diallo, right? When he came on against the Scousers, for example.
on loan a couple of times.
Yeah. When he came on against the Scousers, for example, 3-0 down. Look at what he's doing. He wants the ball. He makes things happen. You can see there's a real quality there that I've never really seen in a United shirt from Mason Mount. I think Diallo is a very good footballer.
I think he's a very talented footballer.
Does a lot that I like as well. He gets stuck in. He tries.
We're keeping him, Joe.
And he's creative.
Well, we are because you outvote me, but I do think we need to be slightly more critical of the fact that he's never really pushed into the first team for a consistent period of time, and he's not that young. He's 22.
Also, that whole
he's not a child.
10 winger thing you were talking on about Mason Mount, like Diallo fits that bill, doesn't he?
He does if he gets picked, and if the manager thinks he's good enough. I think he can play there, but is he of the quality to push United to the next level?
Can't believe what I'm hearing.
I don't know if he is.
Is he going to play Mainu? Is he going to play Ahmad? Joe, shut up.
Okay.
I think he could be the type of player that Amorim likes and tries to do something with.
It'll be the third manager who's had a chance to play him.
22 years. Well, but when he arrived,
you have to consider that though. Surely.
When he arrived, it's slightly harsh though. When he arrived under Ole, was he 18? There was all this sort of rumours about he didn't even want, he'd been child trafficked and all this nonsense. I mean, it wasn't like he was ready to come into the Manchester United.
Not to us, by the way, to Atalanta,
but it wasn't like he was ready to come into the Manchester United first team. He played 60 minutes of professional football. Yep. So we all knew he was a longer-term signing. So I don't think it was like every manager's looked at him and thought, no, you're no good. There was a little while where you were waiting for him to get ready and physically ready to be sort of a first-team player. Erik ten Hag, I don't think was wholly fair with him because he came into that team, did quite well. He looked at the commentary semi-final, came on, played 5 minutes before he moved him into midfield. Again, though, does his job that he's asked to do, does very well. This season, he's had a few starts, a few games, not setting a world alight, but we've seen some real quality from him at times. Yeah. For me, I think there's a player
He's
there.
a fucking baller.
I like him. I do think he's a good player.
Yeah.
I think, look how long he's been here and what he's actually done or how much he's been picked. I think there's a bit of a disconnect between how much the fans like him and what he's actually produced for United.
I get that point.
Yeah, but let's say keeper. Let's go with keeper.
It's not been quite.
I do think he's technically incredibly gifted, and if you can get the best out of him, I think he's a very good player. But Anthony, someone who has definitely done more than Ahmad in a United shirt, certainly played more, scored more.
Has he?
Big games, scored against City, scored against Barcelona, scored against Arsenal. Ahmad has only scored against Liverpool in terms of the big games.
When was this though? When were those goals you mentioned?
His first season.
What's he done his last 18 months? That's the issue.
Got a new tie on the edge, Joe.
Completely agree.
If you were talking about that, like in even last season, I'd be like, I'm with you because I hate all them teams. And you can't ignore scoring goals against City and Barcelona and Liverpool. So let's not be silly. But that was in his first season, and he went backwards. Yeah. And then people think I hate on Anthony and all this shit. I'm just judging what I'm seeing from him, and for like a big chunk of his first season, he went off the boil, then sort of rallied a little bit towards the end. Last season, he did almost nothing. Okay, he got that goal against Liverpool, which
played
is
well against Chelsea.
So, well, you know what I mean? I'm not ignoring the good game against Chelsea, the goal against Liverpool, and the goal against Newport County, and the goal against Burnley. He did do those things.
All good things.
Yeah, he did. Not trying to be funny, he did it. But that isn't enough.
No, it's not enough.
You know what I mean? It's not his fault we spent 80 million quid on him, but we still did, or 80 million euros, whatever. We still did, and it was a massive waste of money.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was asking the question, but
I know you do.
They just
spent enough time with you to know
there's
that.
no real chance that this works, is there? I don't think.
There's just too much
to be a
nonsense
bit of a
around him as well.
personality problem as well, doesn't
like
it?
the whole
fuck him
kicking
all
off
the
when
way
he got
off.
asked to play at left back. Like, just shut up and get on with it. Who do you think you are?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's
all
go
the
with
way
Sal.
off. Fuck him all the way.
You know,
all the way off.
I was talking earlier about.
Shouldn't have even been here in the summer. The fact he's still here now is mental.
Yeah. I don't think anyone would have had him, would they?
Joe, when there used to be a debate, who's a bigger flop? Is it Di Maria? It's Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony's the biggest flop I've ever fucking seen at this football club. He's dog shit. At least the likes of Di Maria, where it didn't quite work out. There's still a fucking player in Di Maria. He's shite.
Yeah.
You know when you say about getting things you had, like the Delo thing against Spurs, when you think, oh, that. With Anthony, the whole whispering to Gabriel Jesus as he got asked to play at left back, fuck it, infuriated me.
Imagine what Roy... He probably wouldn't be alive if Roy Keane
would have just killed him.
Yeah. Just twisted him in half and just left him. Speaking of twisting people in half...
Chinese burned his fucking head off.
Nice.
Exactly. Speaking of twisting people in half, Garnacho, up-and-coming youngster.
Yeah, you're keeping him.
You're definitely
Love
keeping
Garnacho.
him. Yeah.
Class.
In terms of what he needs to do to go to that next step, because at the minute he's one of the starting wingers for United and is part of a front line that doesn't score many goals. What does he need to do, Steve, to become part of a starting line that does score loads of goals?
Garnacho?
Yeah.
I think he needs to go through the same sort of mental development that Cristiano Ronaldo went through, which is nuts, right? Because I remember doing the stats on this a couple of years back about what Ronaldo was doing. Do you remember Ronaldo, I think at one point, first or second season, when did he hit 23 goals?
It was the 06-07 season.
Yeah. So was that his third season?
Yeah.
Okay, so his second season, he was averaging 12.6 shots a game.
How is that possible?
I think that was his fourth season.
Or was it 12.6 shots a goal?
It might be.
Whatever it was fucking awful.
The most product of any footballer in history.
All right, don't overcook it.
How mad is that,
hell.
though? When he was a one-trick pony, no end product, he has now delivered more product than the game of football has, other than him.
Yeah, like a dealer.
He probably turned it round, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
So at some point, he went through a decision-making process and a decision-making development.
Yeah.
And I think at the moment, Garnacho gets into fantastic positions. I think he's got the talent to beat a man. I think he's got the talent to score goals, both in volume and spectacular. I think he's got all of the tools necessary, but is he going to... I mean, actually, I'd love a Nani at the moment.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it. Nani just suffered by...
assist machine, by the way.
Nani just suffered by not being Cristiano, didn't he, in a bad way. But he was actually a really good winner. So is he going to go what our perception of Nani was, or is he going to go more towards the Cristiano sense? Yeah. I think he could go either way. He's still very, very young.
Yeah.
And it took Cristiano, like we said, 3-4 seasons, surrounded by
the best.
Giggs, Scholes, Roy Keane. Do you know what I mean? Like Sir Alex Ferguson.
Did you see that video someone tagged us in with Reddy Millenstein when he was on the Brew?
Yeah.
That was good, that. Yeah, like that sort of, not just that desire and the sort of focus that Ronaldo had to get better and to work on it, but also having coaches around you that can help you with that can...
Yeah, don't be afraid to shin one in.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like, you know what I mean? And also, like Steve was saying, look at the players that are around Cristiano Ronaldo compared to Garnacho. I think I'm always wary of this FOMO thing we have with a lot of players. It's like, we don't want to sell him in case he comes good, let's not sell him in case he becomes really amazing. But I think with Garnacho...
People are saying that about fucking Luke Shaw.
I know, but I think with Garnacho there's a real valid argument there that you could sell him and he could go and absolutely smash it, and you might not even get that much money for him.
Yeah, I agree. Marcus Rashford. 27 years old today.
People will be shouting down the screens and get rid of him, fraud, Trashford. I don't agree, keep him.
Steve?
I'm more on the fence than Jay, I think.
Because of Amorim's system particularly, or because of Rashford?
Not even entering into my head. I think when I look at him, I think this season he looks more arsed than he did last season, but he's still not at the level he needs to be at. And unfortunately, that's a diminishing value on him as well. I think if you'd have sold him in the summer, you actually might have got some dough for him. I don't know if you're going to get the dough for him now. It's a little bit like Bruno, where you maybe wouldn't get what he's genuinely worth. But at the same time, are we kidding ourselves thinking he's going to have a 1 in 5 season again? Or is he going to have the 4 in 5 season again?
Well, if you look at... Obviously, the 30 goals thing is different. But he's hit over 20 goals 3 times. So that would be, I think, considered a very good season, as a winger that gets 20 goals. And he's got 17 goals in there as well, which is a decent season. He's had more decent or better seasons than terrible seasons.
I think
is that
the terrible ones feel like they've been more recent.
Yeah, 2 in the last 3 years.
I think when I look at him at the moment, I don't see a young man that looks happy in himself, and I wonder if a change of scenery would do him the world of good. And you may end up regretting that. He might go on and have a 35 goal season elsewhere. But I don't have the confidence in him reaching that level again at Manchester United. I think he's too jaded with life at the club, the scrutiny that he gets here. Yeah. I think him going somewhere like a Napoli, and you look at how Scott McTominay's been received. He's the second coming of Maradona.
Yeah.
Imagine what Rashford would do out there. The Italian league at the moment is not the Italian league of Crespo and Del Piero days. He would go and rass it up. And I think I would cash in on that somewhere.
I get your point, and I think he would rass it up. But I still believe in Marcus Rashford.
Yeah,
I do. I know he looks like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders, and I know he had a stinker last season. But he's still got it in him where he can produce those moments. And also this season, he's been much better. And even like against Leicester, I don't think he had a particular game, but he can still Was it with the Casemiro one that hit a post eventually led to a goal? Was it Marcus across?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
And the Liverpool game he's having a stinker, and then he puts it on a plate for Xerxes twice. Like, he's developed his game a little bit more, where he can drift out wide more than he used to, and ping in some decent crosses. That's a feather in his cap. Maybe that can be sort of added to. Yes, everything Steve said, I get. There's too much inconsistency. There's too much where he looks like he's just not enjoying his football. But he's also one of those players where he's capable of producing that moment that others aren't. So for me, I would stick with him. I think we maybe missed the boat on selling Marcus.
Yeah.
I think
a couple of years ago, Paris might give you 80
Yeah,
million.
I don't think that's happening. I think
million.
you probably end up getting 50 million for him and not reinvesting that in a good way. You could spend the money you get on Marcus Rashford on another Anthony or whatever, and think, well, why the fuck did you do that?
I think if you could upgrade him for a Nico Williams, that would be a real good move, but I don't know if that's feasible.
I'm going to
have the decide.
Yeah, I'm going to break the deadlock with a keep, but I do agree with some of the stuff you said, Steve, about like what will we get from
what
him?
he said, because he's always been sort of a card-carrying member of the Marcus Rashford fan club, and the fact that he's questioning it now says a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, he is going in keep, but maybe we'll see him with a bit of a new lease of life under new manager. We've seen that in the past. And Rashford, as good as he is, I think very much struggles with confidence and self-belief. So
I love it. He smashes it under our Ruben. And everyone starts having a dig at him, saying, "Oh, look at him now," because that's what'll happen.
Yeah.
Damned if he does, damned if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, with this under 10 can be asked after a new deal, is it? Yeah.
Rasmus Højlund.
Keep.
Yeah, I think he's got to be keep. I think he shows signs at times of really good centre forward play, and I think when he gets chances, and he needs to do better at getting chances as well as people finding him. But
he needs to create some stuff himself.
He does. But he's a very good finisher.
He's got a bit of an edge to him that I like as well.
Yeah, me too.
He gets stuck in and afraid to shout at people. And I like that about him. And I think he had a decent first season. Wasn't perfect, we all know that. But something to build on.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's still young. For me, it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Yeah, he's in the old keep column there. And finally, Joshua Zirkzee.
Keep for me.
Steve? We've only seen him, 10 times?
Right now, snap decision.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if Salford Reds fancy a new second rower.
A little rugby body, innit?
A little bit of a rugby body. It's a dream rugby body.
Yeah.
Someone in the crowd last night.
And I dream about rugby bodies, let me tell you that.
We know.
When I'm dreaming, it's rugby bodies.
We know.
Yeah.
There was someone... Why is it always the voices that shout carnage at the ground are the really, screechy, wild voices?
Because you have to have both. You have to
Never
have
a
weird
Brian
voice.
Blessed that says something.
No,
that you
have to have a crazy voice
alive.
and crazy opinions. They go together, I think.
So
go on.
He had one of his miscontrols or something last night, and there was a voice from behind us went, "What the fuck does he fucking do?" And he got a giggle, and no one had an answer. I would say right now yes, there's a settling in period, but Jesus titty fucking Christ, does he need to start producing something?
I understand.
It's very
the
early days.
And
early
I heard a
days.
few.
If it's a snap decision, it's a sell. But I personally, you give him at least another season after this season to see what he's got.
But it's not been good enough so far.
Right now, I'm hovering over the big red button.
He's had some decent spells. He's like Sellers Park, that favourite game of yours. He did well. He's not been a complete disaster every game he's played, but he suffers from looking, like you say, a rugby player, a kit, as you mentioned the other day, that looks like it's his dad's.
Yeah,
he just looks
he's
like
massive.
comical.
His kit's
almost.
too big for him.
Like,
I've never seen
is
him
this
before.
guy? Looks like he's won a competition.
Yeah,
but I agree with Steve. It's too early.
Yeah,
and he's not been like, oh my god, what the fuck. I've not been quite on that bus.
No.
Has there been a few of them in the crowd though?
I had a few around me yesterday
that.
who were saying the same thing as your mate.
Yeah.
So we're going to go keep, but it's a keep because you've been here for such a little amount of time that it's
a sit down with a hand on the shoulder and this face.
I'm just
How do you think it's going?
Fucking relieved he got a goal on his debut.
Yeah, me too. Because
that'd be to fill out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'd be
007,
0012
all over. Yeah, it'd be like the Højlund treatment last season.
That goal on the debut is doing a lot. So let's put him in keep. And there you go. There's the final squad. As you can see there, the only sells: Luke Shaw, Malacia, Lindelof, Casemiro, Ericsson, Mount and Anthony.
How many of them played a lot of games last season as well?
Almost all of them.
Well, apart from Malacia.
Yeah, all of them did. Mount didn't either.
There was a time when they were all,
They would have all lined up.
And some of them are sells, but we like them and they've done a good job, but it's time to move on.
Yeah.
There's not too many.
I do feel for him. I feel for, Malacia did well in his first season. He's just had a horrendous time injury. Yep. Mason Mount's never got going.
Far too much fucking sentimentality is holding this fucking club back.
Yeah, but they've got
just start being bastard ruthless. You sack 250 staff, you sack Fergie, show a bit of teeth with the squad. Because that's been a problem the last 10, 11 years. The amount of hangers on that, it was club policy, wasn't it, to just renew contracts. Yeah. That's how Anthony Marshall ended up staying here for a fucking testimonial. Phil Jones the same. All of these people, you're no longer a benefit to carry that first team forward. There's a fucking deal. Getting a contract at Manchester United should mean something. It should mean you're one of the absolute best in the world at what you do. Not you've got an house around the corner and your post comes here, here's another 5 years on fucking 7 million a salary. No, earn it or fucking sling it.
Love that. Right, that's going to be all from us. Thank you for watching. This has been Off the Bar. Make sure you check out Green King Sport. The link is in the description. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for watching at home. We'll see you in a bit.